Hello and welcome to another episode of the Appelboom Bites podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel now. And if you're listening through your favorite podcast station, make sure to follow our podcast. We have an amazing new episode here for you with two great guests. Let me first introduce our co-host for today. It is the one and only Douglas Redburn, aka Inquiring Minds on YouTube, and he is here with us for a few weeks. I think this is now episode number 4 that we are recording, Doug, with you, and it's already been an amazing pleasure to have you here on my side, and have you here as my sidekick. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Good morning. It's an absolutely
Thank
gorgeous
you.
day here in Calgary. Uh, e
Yeah.
buonasera, Maestro Marino.
Thank you so much.
I like to introduce him before you get to it.
I like that. I like that. So thank you so much, Doug, for ruining my introduction. I just wanted to introduce the Mr. Delta, Mr. Maiora, the one and only Nino Marino, all the way from Naples, but now here in our podcast studio. Welcome on the show, Nino. How are you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me in your podcast. Everything is going well. Thank you. Now it's going well. Yeah. Again, thank you.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. How's the weather in Naples, Nino?
A little bit warm, of course. We are in end of June. It means, over than 30 Celsius degrees. So it's a
That's
little
okay.
bit
That's
warm.
reasonable.
But it is
That's
okay
reasonable.
because we have the ocean very close, so fresh air come out from the ocean is a good thing. Yeah.
That's always great. All right, Dux, shall we start with your pen check first? What fountain pen do you carry with you today, Doug?
The pen check.
Well, I went back to my very first gold nibbed fountain pen that I've ever owned, and this
Mm-hmm.
is my Pilot E95S. It's also known as the Pilot Elite in Japan. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what I love about this, well, there's a number of things I love about this fountain pen. But what I really love about it is that it's a pocket pen, but it's a full size pen at the same time when you post it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it very, very useful. Um, and it has let me get my special magic lens on here and see if I can focus up. There we go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes, a beautiful inlaid 14 karat gold nib. In this case, it's a medium. And this nib writes like butter, like hot butter on glass. It is just an incredible writing experience, and it writes every time. So this sits on my desk.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it for a number of years now, and this sits on my desk, and every time I reach for it, it writes. And I've never had it uh, without ink, other than when I'm cleaning it. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that's interesting about this pen, a lot of people don't know about it. And when people recommend an entry level gold nib, there's a lot of other brands and other uh, pens that are recommended, but you never see this one
Mm-hmm.
in that list. And I always promote this as a first entry level gold nib pen because its
Yeah.
price point is very, very reasonable. Um, and because it is a full size pen. So people think it's a pocket pen, and well, I don't really like small pens. So I'm going to post a
Because you can.
1948. This is a Parker 51 from 1948. And look at that, full size. They're
Same
both the same
size.
size.
Same.
So
Yes.
if more people knew that this beautiful fountain pen, gold fountain pen, was a full size pen when you use it, I think there'd be more interest. But when you cap it and you put it in your pocket, it disappears. And that's the other thing I love about this pen because the capping mechanism, I think they borrowed something from Parker because Parker 51 was one of the first really silky smooth, beautiful capping and uncapping pens. And Pilot must have found out how to do that because they improved on it. And it posts and it caps like silk. In fact, I love it so much I do it more than I should. I just love that feeling. Its
Hmm.
only drawback is that it has a very small converter with it, the Con 40
Hmm.
converter. When you put that in there, you can't see your ink. It doesn't take a lot of ink. So I just syringe fill a cartridge, a Pilot
Yeah.
Okay.
cartridge, and I never run out of ink. It's just a fabulous pen, and everybody should get one. It comes in
Shall I
two
tell
colors.
you? Shall I tell
There's
you
a
a fun story about this pen, Doc?
sure. Go ahead.
There is this fountain pen is not available in Europe.
Okay.
So Pilot Europe is not selling this amazing model. So it's available in Japan, it's available in the United States, but
United
in
States.
Europe, Pilot Europe is not selling this model. So actually, we are one of the only companies who are selling this Pilot because we have the store in the United States, of course. So we can
Yes.
bring some of those Pilot pens to Europe, but normally you cannot get your hands on these pens in Europe.
Yeah, and there's a number of models I think that are not available in Europe from Pilot. 823 is another one, isn't it?
A
That's not
lot,
available.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
But if you can get your hand, you can get them actually. You can get them, you're saying, Joost, through Appelboom? If
yes.
you're in Europe, you can get them moved to Europe for people. Well, I recommend all you people in Europe get this pen. This you won't regret it. It is lovely
Hmm.
and it is very affordable. Beautiful fountain pen.
Thank you so much
Thank,
for your pen check, Doc. That's an amazing pen check.
Thank you.
I
thank
love
you.
it. Nino, tell us, what fountain pen are you writing with today?
Ah, I used to write with some pens, not only one, because my attitude is, I used to write with prototypes.
Hmm.
So something that I have to test before, go in production. And it is very funny sometimes, but not so funny in other ways. But it is useful for sure. So just to let you know, this is a prototype. The shape
Wow.
is exactly a middle size made by rare, lapis lazuli celluloid.
Hmm.
And I'm testing with a flex nib.
Wow.
So always changing, during the day, because
Hmm.
it is very useful to find something wrong or all the beautiful thing that a fountain pen can give you. So many, not only one.
So,
This
so
is
this is so this is a prototype of a Delta pen that will come up soon.
exactly, yeah, exactly. Then I have many of them. Okay, this is ebonite.
Mm.
Everything is ebonite. 18K gold nib. We are
Wow.
producing in-house our piston filling system. So I have to
Hmm.
test every day the performance, how it performs. So
Hmm.
it's different pens.
That's I think that's one of the best things of your job, that you can have new pens to test every day, again and
Yeah,
again and
yeah,
again.
yeah. That's because I told you it's funny. Many times it's fun. It's very fun.
Hmm. Yeah, you're really lucky, I think. All right, we will talk a little bit more about Delta later on in the show, but first let me go to my pen check. It happened to be a Delta as well. I have here the Delta June here with me. It is the
Yeah.
Horizon and
the
it
Dune.
has a flex extra fine nip on it. And my question to the people that are watching this right now is, because there are so many colors inside this pen, so you have like greens and
Yeah.
blues and turquoises, what ink shall I put into this fountain pen? So people, let me know in the comments below, what ink would you recommend to add in this fountain pen? Nino, can you tell us a little bit more about this pen that you created?
Yeah, this is, a pen that was born just to offer to the market a
Hmm.
sort of entry level for Delta pens. If you think about the price, that is 158 retail,
Hmm.
equipped with the piston filling system also. I think it's a good entry level price for that kind of product.
Hmm.
And I thought
It
this
definitely is. And what I really like about this piston filler mechanism is that you unscrew the blind cap, and
exactly.
now you can activate a piston filling mechanism. So
Now
it's
we
not
are
that you're activating it immediately.
now we start producing another kind of piston filling system without, keeping off the blinker. So
Okay.
just unscrewing and screwing it. So we are producing in-house. It could be,
Really nice. Really nice.
to show you our factory. I could do it if you desire, if you agree. Could be a nice.
Well, I
Are
will.
you available next week? I'll come to Naples next week.
That could be great, could be great, but very
I
easy to
never
me.
turn, offers like this of, go to
No,
Naples,
Just
have a good
yeah,
pizza, visit the factory, that's always good.
have fun and stay some time, in the factory, showing you all the complete processes of production. But now
Hmm.
I could do it with my mobile phone, going,
yeah,
5 minutes tour in a factory. We have a factory, 1,000 and a half square meters, a beautiful place, to show the complete cycle of production. We start every day at 7 a.m. and for the employee, the working day finish at 4 p.m. So now at this time, we are out of their time, but I can because always, every day, I am obliged to work 12 or 14 hours. So no problem to me.
I also
I think
brought
I
a
think it's
Delta.
I think
I
it's
also brought a Delta with me in
This
honor
is
of
a journal,
Maestro Marino. This is the
journey,
journal from
a journey.
2016. The journal, beautiful matte
Yeah,
acrylic fountain pen. It also has the blind cap to the
yeah,
converter. Beautiful
yeah.
pen. I just had to show my Delta from
it's really nice.
Thank
earlier
you.
Delta
Thank
days. A
you.
beautiful
So
pen.
this shape is about the shape of the Dune, the new one that Joost
Yes.
showed
Yes.
us. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Just remaking a shape like this, more or less, of
Yeah.
course, doing some adjustments,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and
Yeah. They're
of course
beautiful.
offering a piston filling system. In that case, you have a cartridge
Yes.
converter
There's a cartridge
with
converter on this one.
inbuilt, inbuilt converter
Yeah.
to that allow you to fill the pen also just unscrewing the blink cap.
What's the name of the model that you showed there, Joost? What's
The
the
It's
name
the
of that
Dune,
June.
model? The
Dune,
June.
June.
Dune. Yeah,
And this
yeah,
is available now through Appelboom.
yeah.
It's available now. You can order it with Appelboom, and we will deliver it within, as fast as possible.
And
Excellent.
the thing I would like to underline on this kind of collection is also that materials are all from Italian manufacturer. It seems like a primary manipulation materials, but
Hmm.
made in Italy.
Italy.
In the north of
Mm.
Italy, the company is named the Sintetica. So all our pens are made with rods that comes from north of Italy.
Nice.
So the entire pen is made in Italy, or not the nib?
not the nib, of course, not the nib yet. I would like to
Not
say
yet.
you not the nib yet because it is in our planning production to make also the nib in us, but it will
Okay,
take
that's
time.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
it will
really
take.
cool. All right, guys. But before we go all over with this podcast, Jana has this question for us.
oh yeah,
We should start with her question because otherwise, we flip over this whole
Please,
podcast
yeah,
theme.
please.
So Jana has this question for you, Nino. Jana from Pelican. She's the product manager of Pelican. She has this question for you, and the question is, what was the most passionate or personal handwritten note that you received?
Sorry, the personal and
What was the most passionate or personal handwritten note that you received?
handwritten notes. Oh, you make do you mean the paper I use or
No, it's
yeah.
just, a note that you received from somebody.
A love
Oh,
letter, a
okay. Oh,
postcard.
okay. Okay, okay, okay. Now, okay, in during all my life, I started when I was 24, and uh, as my attitude, I was always in relationships with many people around the world, many of them very famous. So just to remember a man that I have so many respect for him that died. So just a few days ago, I had a beautiful letter from Berlusconi because Delta was a sponsor, official sponsor of the G7 in 1994. And this is
Hmm.
one of the best, beautiful letter I got in my life.
Hmm.
Thank you for asking this.
That's lovely.
I'm,
Yeah,
like
I can.
That's a
emotional,
lovely story.
emotional for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we're getting you emotional now, Nino.
No,
Yeah.
But
Sorry for
no,
your
no.
loss.
It's a good memories for sure. Good memories for sure. Yeah.
yes, that's it. Thank you so much for sharing, these kind of
It's
personal notes.
from my heart.
Uh,
It
Doug,
is just
Doug, and now I also want to know from you. Do you also have this kind of
but
personal
Oh,
letters?
I could
oh,
speak about so many president governments all over the world, major of the most big cities in the world. Many letters, beautiful letters, but just because we lose our, I think
yeah.
the best one entrepreneur we had in Italy in the last 50 years was Silvio Berlusconi for sure.
Oh,
Hmm.
oh, sorry for your loss, Nino. That's a
Yeah.
lovely story. So
Yeah.
you're asking me what kind of passionate letter that I've received. Well, I have
Yes,
to.
Doug.
I didn't know you were going to ask me this, but I have to tell you that the handwritten note is not just one; it's many, many,
Many.
many,
Yeah,
many.
Hmm.
exactly.
My wife, when I would go to work, she'd pack my lunch, and I'd
Hmm.
open up my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and there would be a little note with a handwritten heart, and it says "I
Wow.
love you" or "Thinking of you today." Every day there was a different note about how much she loves
Wow.
me.
That's
That's
And
really
really
so
nice.
cute.
they're not just one. I got them
Wow.
almost every time I had a packed lunch from my
That's
wife.
really
And you
beautiful.
never had a note like you forgot to put the trash outside,
Oh
Doug.
yes, don't forget. You
That's
forgot
really
to take
beautiful.
out the trash.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. My girlfriend, she does the same when I travel, and I travel quite often. Always, I find something in my bag, or sometimes it's a little bit, searching in my bag. But there always is this kind of small letters, and nowadays also sometimes a picture of the kids, to
Yeah,
remind me of them home. So
Very nice
it's
too.
always
yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
appreciated.
very, very thoughtful. Yeah.
Very nice
Guys,
too.
you should be doing that. Guys, you
Yeah,
need to do that too for your ladies. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Or your
that's
partners.
true. That's
Great,
true.
Yeah.
All
great,
right,
great.
Dino, let's go back to the Delta brand. So,
Yeah, please.
how did it all started? It ended somewhere, and now it's revived. Now it's back in the market.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, as you surely know, Delta was co-founded by myself in 1982. It means when I was 24 and now I am 66. Uh, 36 years of old life, of the Delta's life. Okay, we did so many beautiful pens, really many, so many. Especially, because Delta was, a new company in the beginning of 80s. It means
Hmm.
so many competition and one really big competitors as was Mont Blanc. Exactly in the same moment that Mont Blanc was like a bomba, when 87 Mont Blanc did like boom worldwide. So when I was very young, I started always thinking about how to make something that no one company made till that moment, never, So it was just for a case, just in case that I met, a friend of mine that was an engineer in Naples City. He was working on a special project to make the tree of the, Moro di Venezia for the America's Cup in carbon fiber. So when I told me
Hmm.
a tree of a, boat to compete, immediately I thought a tube for a pen. And I started working with him for 3 years and a half to make the only and the first fountain pen, rollerball, and a ballpoint in carbon fiber and pure titanium.
Wow.
So immediately after that, all the key doors in our market were opened to us. I can
Hmm.
show you, now the pen that was really the first carbon fiber fountain pen made in the world with the Gogh nib.
Wow.
Total weight is, impossible to broke it, carbon fiber
Hmm.
and pure
Yeah,
titanium,
carbon fiber is really strong material.
very strong. Also titanium, very
Hmm.
all the weight, total weight, 18 grams only,
Oh, wow.
including
Wow.
the nib, including the ink inside. And
Mm.
then, with this kind of pen, Delta was a sponsor, official sponsor of the G7 in 1994. We gave to the governments a gift like this, a couple of pens, very innovative, technology innovative, made in the southern of Italy, where nobody can thought about that in the south of Italy could be so innovative products made. So it was a
Hmm.
great success. It is still, for me, the best pen in my life because it opened all the key doors to sell pens worldwide that time. So Delta taking off, and
Very
and
special.
that was the beautiful things that happened many years ago. After that, Delta was a factory always doing collections linked to some special themes or events, special events.
Hmm.
Always in my mind, I would like to tell a nice story. One of the best collection I thought was the indigenous people. It was like a worldwide tour, virtual tour of Delta discovering, indigenous people still alive, but very often forgotten from all the people around the world. I started with the Maasai, for example, and I finished maybe 20 pens after doing the Kanaka Maoli from Hawaiians people, indigenous people.
Hmm.
So it was very
Wow.
interesting because I could transfer, culture and really stories of special people. Think about Indios from Amazonia. Very, very difficult for them to survive still now. And I spoke of this kind of people many times. And some
Hmm.
percentage on sales went to support some special things for that kind of people. So Delta was, from one side tradition. Believe me, in the first 80, the pens were made mostly all in metal, precious metal or, brass, gold plated, and so on. Then, after 15 years, maybe 20, people started asking from, resin or celluloid or ebonite. So we were born just to make precious metal pens. Then we following the market, the market, we started making some special pens in celluloid and exotic materials. Then
Hmm.
after 36 years of Delta went, bankrupt. Uh, to me was really bad time. Years
Hmm.
of
I can imagine.
suffering because I would like to save the company. I put all my best, of course, in doing this, but
Hmm.
okay, not possible to save it. So after 6 months that are closed, was Maiora founded to continue making, beautiful pens. My job, you know, uh, immediately after its
How did you come
foundation.
up the name with Maiora? How did you come up with the name
Okay,
Maiora?
Maiora is from our Latin language. When you would like to wish to someone over the best, not only the best, there is no, end of the best. You have to say
Hmm.
ad maiora. It means always the best, growing always.
Okay.
So it was like, a good luck, giving a good luck to the,
Hmm.
and it was. It
That
was
was quite. It's quite a good name in that time, you know.
yeah,
6 months
yeah.
after
It,
the bankruptcy of
it
Delta.
was, it was born from my heart, really. Just
Hmm.
to wishing to the new company all the best, always the best.
Hmm.
So since the beginning, Mayora acquired the rights to produce and sell worldwide pens under Nettuno 1911 pen brand. This was the most ancient pen brand registered in Italy. If you think Montegrappa is the first, 1912. Nettuno was born in 1911. It was for this
Just a year before.
the most ancient pen brand in Italy. So we started making pens under Nettuno brands. After one
Hmm.
year, uh, I started making pens under Maiora brands. And then
Hmm.
one day it happened an amazing things to me. I got a call from a very important entrepreneur in Napoli, a Napolitan entrepreneur that I didn't know. I didn't know till then. They told me, Nino, I would like to meet you because I know exactly what you did in your life. And I would like to speak with you if you have 5 minutes for me. So I told
Hmm.
him, okay, I can meet you, no problem, for just to take a coffee together, So I met him, and he started investing in our company. And he bought from the court all the Delta things. the brand, all the warehouse, all the building, everything we did in so many years of efforts and hard work. He asked me, Nino, are you able to manage it again? Of course, it was my heart. It was my
Hmm.
life, all my life. You can imagine 36 years. 36
Yes,
is
of
a life.
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I started again, and now I have to manage, and I am grateful to God first. Uh, four
Hmm.
brands, four pen brands. First is Maiora, the second is Delta, third Nettuno, and then people around the world they would like to Nino Marino signature, some special pens, only a few pieces, just for fun to me. But you know,
Hmm.
I never thought about this because I never like to have the first, Dama, the first on first position. It is not my character. But people around the world, would like to have a Nino Marino pen. So this investor started, asking me, please, we have to patent your name and surname to make a special pens. So we did it. And that's all.
Wonderful.
So we are growing very fast, like a high-speed train, making beautiful pens, and
That's great.
getting so many compliments from all over the world.
Yeah. Are
That's
the
all.
are the
I
old
think I
deltas the
was not so
same?
long. I was not so long because more than 40 years in 5 minutes is a very special.
That's great. That's great. I think you did a
And
great job. A little history lesson.
maybe I have to ask sorry to you for my bad English. I'm not so perfect when I speak. So this is Nino Marin. This is a very true, a very clear man.
What do you mean? Your English is amazing. I think everybody can
Wonderful.
understand you, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think I
Yeah.
think I think you can speak better English than most people that are not from Italy can speak Italian. So, you know, you're doing
You
pretty well. No worries.
you
Yeah.
are too
Yeah.
kind. Thank you.
But Nino, I have a question. Are the old deltas the same as the new deltas, or is it completely different? You know, the new delta pens that come out now.
No, absolutely not. I can answer you immediately. First of all, as I told you before, I have to manage now four pen brands. I have to be
Hmm.
careful to make the good and the perfect identity on each brand. So Delta
Hmm.
already has its own identity. So it is the easiest pen brand to manage in the four that I have because
Hmm.
not only because it is old, but because Delta did so many things that all the people around the world still continue asking me to redo. So easy to make a new, beautiful job making the same pants, beautiful pants, and continue some special theme like indigenous people. For the end of
Hmm.
the year, I planned to go out on the market to launch a new, beautiful limited edition and celebrating a new indigenous people. So it's a saga that will continue. Uh,
Okay.
the
So the series continues.
Yeah, the series continue. And yeah, the mind is always the same. I was managing Delta, so I cannot change. I don't want to change nothing, you know. First of
Hmm.
all, maintaining
Okay. What is the difference? What is what is the difference between Delta and Maiora?
is
So if we're talking about brand identity.
easy to me to answer you, Jos. Okay, Mayora to me now is a new baby, you know. And when you have a new baby, you have most care about because it is,
Hmm.
just born. So to me, thank you. Thank you, Jos. Our Abentus line. This is amore. It means love. The red is passion, is, the meanings is easy to find. So Mayora to me, it will be for sure experimento, some new
Mhm.
experience. Just to let you see, I we made the new pen that is the
Ogiva.
Ogiva, but I like to call it Ultra Ogiva. If you take the measurement of this kind of shape, you
Hmm.
cannot find any other pen on the market that is this kind of shape of ogiva. It is really, really
Hmm.
new. All the materials that seems like primary manipulation, but it is made in
Beautiful.
Italy by Synthetica in the north of Italy. I spent 1 week with our supplier to make some special colors and putting dust of gold inside.
It's really nice.
Yeah, many.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Lovely. Look at that.
Wow.
And the ink window is gold.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
always with the piston filling system. The ink window,
Oh,
another
yeah.
nice thing is with the transparent colored resin made by turn, by lathe, not molded. It
Yeah.
is not
Hmm.
Hmm.
plastic. This is resin and it is turned from a
Yep.
solid bar. You can unscrew the cap and you can see and move the piston.
Yep.
Very
Okay?
nice.
So we just following with yeah, if you want to maybe you have a question about Nettuno.
I have questions for Nino
Yeah.
before
All right.
you'll
But
you'll
but
be.
but your last question, Doug, you have to wait a little bit because first I need to introduce a new fountain pen that just came into
Oh
the
yes.
store. Yeah. That's the rules, I'm sorry.
New products.
It's also an Italian brand, and it's an Italian brand, but with a little bit of a Dutch hint. So, giving this information, I think most of you already know this is about the Visconti Van Gogh, and it is the latest Van Gogh. It was just recently launched. It is based on the flowering plum orchard. It is the second oil painting selected by Visconti from the Van Gogh's Japanese series, and the artist made this painting in 1887 from a Japanese print by Hiroshige called Plum Garden in Kamaido. The ancient plum tree that was the subject of the original print had the poetic nickname of the Sleeping Dragon Plum Tree. Van Gogh accurately reproduced the composition with more intense colors, replacing the black and gray of Hiroshige's tree trunk with red and blue tones. He also added the two orange borders with Japanese characters for a decorative and exotic effect. It is quite funny because I went to the Van Gogh Museum with Vanessa Langton, aka the Pen Gangster, during the time of the Dutch Pen Show, so the beginning of June, and I have actually seen this painting. And we had a discussion in front of this particular painting about the Japanese characters which were on the painting. So I have it here on the box,
Beautiful.
and most likely I hold
Yeah,
it
it is
upside down.
beautiful.
But so we had this discussion like, would Mr. Van Gogh known if what he was writing down? Most likely not. And there was a Japanese gas tourist, and we asked him like, okay, can you translate what it says? So he gave us a hint. I don't remember anymore, so sorry for that. If somebody is seeing this right now and knows what is it saying, I think it should be reading like this or this. I don't know. Maybe this. I don't know. Sorry for butchering this, but yeah. So I was thinking about all this, and then a few days later, Visconti announced us that they will bring a new Van Gogh honoring this exact painting. So I was quite surprised, and I was really, really, really happy with it. The box comes with a bookmark of the painting and with this little ink bottle, which is matching the fountain pen. So, Doug, what do you think of this new release of Visconti?
I love all of the Van Gogh varieties because
Hmm.
I'm a big. Now you have to tell me, Joost, how do you pronounce Van Gogh in Dutch? Is it Van Gogh?
Yes, correctly. That's Van
Van
Gogh.
Gogh?
Van
Van
Gogh.
Gogh?
Yes,
Van Gogh.
Achel.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so I'll say I love Van Gogh as an artist. You can see
Hmm.
my cup is
Nice.
Van Gogh's sun sunflowers. Um, and the fact that they're continuing this line with the many paintings, I'm just thrilled with all
Hmm.
of the resins that they put together. They're beautiful fountain pens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really special, and especially as a Dutch person, it's really funny that an Italian brand makes has two series in their collection. One
Hmm.
named Van Gogh and
Rembrandt,
the other one
yeah,
Rembrandt. So it was
Yeah.
quite,
yeah.
it's quite unique for a
The
Dutchies,
Rembrandt is a beautiful fountain pen
Yeah.
too.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
All right. So that's enough for new fountain pens for this week. Doug, what is
So,
your question that you have for Nino prepared?
well, like last week, you took my question
I'm so
already,
sorry.
but that's all right. It's the question that we wanted to know from Nino, I think. But you've very nicely elaborated on your 36 years with Delta,
Yeah.
Nino, and in 2018 you were a very busy man. You revived Nutuno. You created your own Maiora brand. You also created your own signature series. And now you're reviving the Delta line. So you already elaborated on some of the differences between these different brands, but how do you maintain separate identities for the personality for these different brands? Are they separate compartments within your factories and your design team, or are all of your people working on all four brands?
Okay.
Yes, that's
It's a
my
good
question.
question.
Thank you for this question because it is an opportunity, a great opportunity to me to to explain what I have in my mind about how to manage the four brands.
Yeah.
Okay, we can start talking about Maiora. Maiora is, as I told you before, a new brand, a new pen brand. So it will be for us a brand that will be recognizable in the market for mostly for two things. The first is the shape. I would like to continue offering this beautiful ultra ogiva that we discovered to be one of the best ogiva shape uh, the market was offering. It will be for
Hmm.
sure our icon pen for Maiora, I mean. At the
Hmm.
same time, as I told you before, to distinguish Delta, it will be easy because it will be enough to follow exactly what Delta did in their past, in its past. It means especially,
Traditional. Yeah.
okay, Delta went recognizable worldwide because one day we got some special material that was a very strange color for that time. That was a full marbled orange color, brilliant. That time, all the beautiful pens were made in black. At maximum, you could find the Burgundy of Mont Blanc or Cartier. But the best was only black. So when I seen this kind of color, this kind of nice and new color, I thought it was so strange to make a limited edition pen. That kind of limited edition was called the Colosseum. The Colosseum limited edition was one of the best seller in Delta history. So I discovered that consumers liked it very much because was really new, a very new color combination, black and orange. So when
Hmm.
all the Colosseum were sold out, immediately after I thought about a numbered edition and I called it Dolce Vita. The Dolce Vita item and collections was made in so many sizes, starting from
Hmm.
the mini size, the undersize, till the oversized pen.
It's a
So
really iconic
I
color
started to
combination
make this
nowadays.
kind of a communication that was the right size. But the word right was like not right like right this, but right like to right,
Like writing,
to right.
yes.
So it was an amazing advertisement I did, the right size, because I started with mini pen till the oversize. All of them, they were the right size. Okay. So after that, Delta was, very. It becomes the identity card of Delta brand all over the world. If
Hmm.
you notice at reporter in the TV that showing a pen in orange and black, immediately I immediately got some message on my mobile. Oh wow, I'm seeing your pen in Delta, beautiful orange and black. So we will still continue making the icon of Delta, but
Hmm.
we are calling it DV, original DV Delta. We started with a
DV.
new name because Dolce Vita brand was registered after Delta went closed from someone else.
Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
so we have the DV original Delta that will be exactly the same pen in the same sizes. Delta went out on the market internationally for so many years, and as I told you before, Delta is the easiest pen brand to manage in the already has its identity, so it's very
Hmm.
different from Maiora already. Nettuno 1911. Nettuno 1911 means vintage to me. Just the word Nettuno 1911. That is not a brand. It's the year of its foundation. It means vintage.
Yeah.
So look at this beauty. This is the new Superba. The Superba Nettuno was the greatest success of the Nettuno brand with the button filler system. Okay,
Hmm.
Very
we
nice.
are making it in three different versions. This is in a rare marbled green celluloid, solid gum nib. Following this kind of mind in the mindset, actually vintage. So we can
Hmm.
redo. I'm planning to make another, numbered collection that will be very similar to the Superba item. It means Nettuno will be so, recognizable worldwide because that kind of shape, that kind of feeling, that kind of clip, all the details. Nino Marino will be just fun for some crazy, crazy collectors worldwide. So I will play
Hmm.
with this kind of brand.
Right.
I am making now a central band in solid gold or sterling silver, but showing in high relief the entire Bay of Naples. It will be my icon, the Bay of
Oh,
Naples.
nice.
I was born
Nice. Nice.
in the most beautiful Napoli area, that is Posillipo, exactly on the ocean, the residential part of Napoli city. But I was born, and my father and my grandfather, and going ahead and going behind. So the inspiration to me is the view I always can see, that is Napoli Bay, really nice, beautiful, very famous worldwide.
That's really cool.
I would like to have
Yeah.
you both, hosting you both here in Naples, to enjoy some
Oh,
special days.
I think that sounds like a great idea, Doug. When do you
I
have
think it
time?
sounds like
And believe
yeah.
me,
I'm retired. I can come
believe me,
anytime.
it would be very interesting to see how we make our pens. And answering to your question in a completely manner, I have to say to you that I have only 14 employees, not 46 like I used to have in Delta, only 14, but they are the best for sure. They are enough, and they are capable to manage the CNC machines, the manual lathe, everything, polish department, plating department, assembling department, all the factory in the best manner I can design.
Everything.
I can design
Wonderful.
because I have
Wonderful.
more than 40 years experience, so I can
Yeah.
recognize skills, craftsmanship.
Hmm.
That's all.
That's
Yeah.
really
Thank
cool.
you for your
That's
Excellent.
really
question.
cool. Thank
Excellent.
you so much for
Thank you,
sharing this all
thank you
with
for
us,
your
Nino.
question.
We are running out of time. So before we're ending the show, Nino, I have to ask you, with what question you can come up with a question. With what question do we have to start our next episode,
Oh,
our next podcast?
I am a Napolitan man.
So what question do we have to ask our guest?
Yeah, I am a Napolitan man. It is, very well known that in Napoli you can eat good food. My question for the
Hmm.
next guest is, what's food you like?
What food do you like? That's a really good one.
Please, thank you.
What?
That could take up the entire episode.
Thank you.
Yes, that's
I,
it can be a really interesting episode. This one.
I hope
Be
it
a
will
cooking
come
show.
from a nice country for food also.
Well, I will announce it now. Our guest for next week will be Nikki Pesarov. I'm sorry for butchering your name, Nikki, if I do that. He is from Penworld magazine, and so he's from America. And I think we can talk about food with
Yeah,
him. That
yeah.
will be no problem.
I met Nicky in the
Looking
past,
forward to it.
so it's a good person, a friend of mine also. Yeah. So
It will be a lot of fun. All
maybe,
right, guys.
please.
Yes, please, Nino. What would you like to say?
No, I would like just to thank you again, and it was a great honor to me to meet you, Mr. Douglas, for the first time. I
Oh,
had the opportunity to
that
speak with you, to talk with you, to see you. And of course, many thanks to Joost to host me and allowing me to meet you, Douglas. Thank you.
Grazie, maestro.
Thank you so much.
Guys, thank you so much, both
Thank
of
you
you.
too.
Douglas, thank you so much for being our co-host again, and making the time to chat with us about pens. Next week we will sit here again and talk with Nikki about the Pen World magazine, which will be quite an interesting story, I think, because it's something completely different.
We will talk.
Something to look
Nino,
forward to.
Nino, thank you so much for taking the time, being our guest,
Thanks
and
to
tell
you.
us the story of Delta, Maiora, Nettuno, and of course your own Nino Marino brand, which is quite interesting. Everybody that's interested in buying some Delta Maiora pens and Nettuno pens, make sure to head over to our website, appelboom.com, and we are happy to help you with that. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe now. And next week, we have another episode with another guest.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.